impose the agenda of the government to shut down the internet together with the media houses in Kenya. Among them is the Zimbabwe president. He issued a warning to his citizens. Alright, greetings lovely people. Before we continue, kindly support us by hitting the like button and don't also forget to subscribe to stay updated on all updates across Africa and beyond. Trust me on that. Respect. The protest in Kenya has become a revolution. It is no longer a protest. It was a peaceful protest, and then the people got angered by the police and the flame up, and then the whole thing became a revolution of Ruto must go. The protest started as a rejection of the finance bill and then is now ending with Ruto must vamoose. Now, the police tried to stop the people from exercising their rights to demonstrate, and then this whole thing has become something differently. The youth of Kenya have been able to push the government through protests to the level where the government have to withdraw from signing the finance bill. And Ruto further reduced the government expenditure starting from himself. That's the video out there.
And because I run a government, but I also lead people. And the people have spoken on my own behalf and on behalf of these members and many other Kenyans. I send my condolences to the families of those who lost their loved ones in this very unfortunate manner. And listening keenly to the people of Kenya who have said loudly that they want nothing to do with this Finance Bill 2024, I concede, and therefore I will not sign the 2024 Finance Bill. In this regard as well, I am directing for immediate further austerity measures to reduce expenditure, starting with the Office of the President, the entire presidency, and extending to the entire executive arm of government. Operational expenditure in the presidency be reduced to remove allocations for the confidential fort, reduce travel, hospitality, purchase of motor vehicles, renovations, and other expenditures. This will cover the entire presidency and also the executive arm of government. I also propose that equally, Parliament, the judiciary, and county governments, working with the National Treasury, also undertake budget cuts and austerity to ensure that we do live within our means, respecting the very loud message that is coming from the people of Kenya.
After President Ruto gave this speech, he was expecting the youth to move from the street and go home. But guess what happened? Surprisingly, the youth of Kenya have turned the protest into Ruto must go, a solid revolution. They want the president to go. They are telling Ruto that not only the finance bill must go, but Ruto must go together with the finance bill. Now, after forcing their way and pressing their way into the parliament, the police were shooting at them, and some even lost their life at the end of the day. But they were able to get into the parliament and set part of the parliament on fire. Again, Julius Malena, the EFF leader of South Africa, came out and then he put something on social media congratulating the youth of Kenya again. Just a quick reminder, guys, in case you forget, kindly hit the like button and subscribe to stay updated. Respect. Apart from the EFF releasing a statement, Julius Malena put it out and he said, "Keep making us proud, Kenya youth. You are doing a great job." This is a word from Julius Malena. Now, the next thing that happened was that Ruto came out and surprisingly angered the people the more. Ruto came out with a speech which I don't know if I should call it a petrolized speech to put more petrol into the fire or not. Now, Ruto came out with this particular speech referring to the youth protesting on the street as a criminal act, and that he is going to use the security forces on them to stop them from protesting on the street.
It is very painful for Kenya that a conversation this crucial was hijacked by dangerous people who have caused us the kind of loss we have incurred as a nation today. It is not in order or even conceivable that criminals pretending to be peaceful protesters can rain terror against the people, their elected representatives, and the institutions established under our Constitution, and expect to go scot-free. We must isolate crime from democratic expression and separate criminals from people exercising the freedom of expression and divergent opinion. I am bound under sacred constitutional mandate to respect, uphold, and defend the Constitution of Kenya, which declares that all sovereign power belongs to the people, and that this power shall be exercised only in accordance with the Constitution. The government will therefore uphold its constitutional mandate to secure our nation and its development, and shall treat every threat to national security and the integrity of our state as an existential danger to our republic. Accordingly, I assure Kenyans that we shall provide a full, effective, and expeditious response to today's treasonous events. I hereby put on notice the planners, financiers, orchestrators, and abettors of violence and anarchy that the security infrastructure established to protect our republic and its sovereignty will be deployed.
And he did that by deploying more policemen on the street to stop the people from protesting against the bill and calling for the removal of Ruto. But there's one thing that you need to understand. Watch this video and you understand that some of the police, they are even helping the youth to clear the tear gas from their eyes. They are giving them water, as you can see. So the police are also tired. Some of them are tired. So at this point, we can clearly say that this is the whole nation against Ruto. Now, because of this, the youth now flame up the more and additional lives were lost. You see, does it have to get to this level where the people who stay in queue to vote you into power, they have to lose their life before you raise in as a leader? It's a question for another day. One of the things too is that Ruto rejected advice prior to the protest. Some of his people in the parliament advised him to sack those people who gave him advice to tax bread. But Ruto did not listen. Watch the video.
And I want to tell the president, who I served with in the same committee in parliament, who was my classmate in the university, fire those guys that you have hired who are giving you economic advice. They are not helping you at all. How do you even imagine bringing something like taxing bread, even if it is as a joke? That is a joke carried too far. That is a joke carried too far. You can crack doctors elsewhere. You can find a situation where the young people have banned the country based on your joke. Try those jokes elsewhere. Because Kenyans are suffering. Kenyans are tired of being taxed. And if we cannot listen to the Kenyans who are tired of being taxed, we have no business being in this house.
And then interestingly, what happened is that now some of the politicians came out to expose the agenda of the government to shut down the internet together with the media houses in Kenya. That's the video.
The country is bigger than William Ruto. What you are seeing out there is a total repudiation of William Ruto and what he stands for. The entire country has risen up to say Ruto must go. We want the president, because he has failed. At this particular moment in time, even withdrawal of that bill will not be enough. William Ruto, resign as president of the Republic of Kenya, because you have failed Kenyans. From your own home in Sugoi, all the way up the mountain, down the lake, across the coast, Kenyans are saying, you go, because you have failed as a president of the Republic of Kenya. Lastly, we will protect the freedoms that were hard fought for in this country. We are hearing plans of them trying to shut down live broadcasting of these proceedings, including the proceedings out in the streets. We are being told there are plans to shut down the internet. We want them to know, whether in the light or in the darkness, all these evil people will fall. Whether they shut down media or not, all these people will fall, because the people of Kenya have said, this is enough.
Now, what is happening in Kenya, you and I can agree that this is nothing but bravery. This is youth expressing the fact that they are tired. Because as Ruto deployed more police to shoot more tear gas into the people, look at what the people are saying. The people are now saying that the tear gas that the police are shooting is now a fragrance of change to them, so they don't care. Now, there is something so much so disturbing about this whole thing. There are some particular security personnel or police deployed against the people. They are wearing a badge of American flag. The question is, what is American flag doing on their dresses? Which brought all of us to one conclusion, that the government of Kenya is being hijacked by the enemy. And they are using Ruto. You know already, I will not mention them. How do we see black police wearing American badge in Kenya amidst protests? It doesn't make any sense. So where is the government of Kenya receiving their advice from? Who is advising Ruto? That should tell you who is advising him. Respect. Now, after analyzing some of them, the youth are still standing on their ground saying Ruto must go. And they send the message across saying that it is either the president resign or the whole country will burn in blood. The interesting thing we notice also is that it is no longer about the youth, but the elders also have joined the protest.
I am over 70 years now.
Calling for Ruto to resign. The elders are standing with the youth. And now, do you know what is happening? There is fear among African leaders. Across the whole continent, there is fear among them. They are afraid that their youth will replicate what is happening in Kenya. Among them is the Zimbabwe president. He issued a warning to his citizens. But before that, I want the African leaders to understand one thing. There is a wind of change blowing in the mind of the youth. There is already protest happening in the heart of the youth. When you push the youth and suffocate them to a certain level, they will flame up. Once it gets to the neck, they can't take it again. They will flame up. The police cannot stop them. It will shock you. Even the police will support us because they are also tired. The right thing to do is not to warn your citizens, but to start doing the right thing. Give the youth the best, and you have peace in your country. Now, the Zimbabwe president issued a warning to his citizen. Watch the video.
Certain unruly elements, in collaboration with our detectors, have activated the perennial tendencies of seeking to disturb our security, peace, and prevailing tranquility environment in our country. They must be warned that my government will not broker any form of mischief under whatever pretext.
He said to them they should not bring that nonsense to his door. He and his government are not going to allow that nonsense to happen. Listen. This is a disrespectful speech to the people of Zimbabwe. The people put you there. How dare you give them warning? It is not illegal in any democratic country for the youth to protest. They have the right to protest. What is happening in Kenya? It has fallen into riot because the police try to stop the people. And the people have decided that, okay, if that is the case, we are going to show you who have the power. How many of us are you going to kill? Then let's do it. And then it is happening. Ruto must resign to save his nation and to save the people.